Hello everyone, I am Abhijit and we are learning DevOps from very foundational level from what is Linux to the building of LLMOps pipelines. We have already covered two sessions earlier. This is the third session from day 0C. So yesterday you got comfortable just typing 6 safe commands without any fear. Today we go one level deeper. Everything is a file and there is exactly one tree that holds every file on the system. By the end of today, you will have made your own folders and files on purpose and deleted one on purpose too. So let's recall from the day 0B. What's the difference between a terminal and a shell? So the difference between a terminal and a shell is terminal is the window and shell is the stage that is provided for our commands to interact with the terminal. So to keep in mind, let's think of it like there is the operating system. A window to that operating system is the terminal, and shell or born again shell is the application or the stage that is provided to us to type in our commands and interact with the operating system. Now let's go to the next question. What are three parts of a command's shape? So as we had seen earlier, the command shape is command, options and arguments, and you can have different options for the same command, or you may not have any options as well. The command itself can work without any options or arguments with its default behavior. And to go ahead, which are the two ways you can ask for the command for help? So as we had looked earlier, we type in command space hyphen hyphen help or man space command. These both option gives us the help, and either one of them if not available, you can check it on your own. So we missed one thing as well in the previous session. If you do not have an idea about the command as well, what you can do is do man -k directory. So this gives us the different commands that are available on directory level, and we can see our command ls is present, which gives us the contents from the current directory. Everything is a file. Here's a Linux idea that sounds strange at first. Almost everything is represented as a file. Your documents, obviously, but also devices. A disk shows up as a file. Even live information from the kernel itself shows up as files. We'll actually see that on day 0E, but this is a deliberate design choice. It's a one consistent way to interact with very different kinds of things. And a directory, what other system call as a folder, is just a special kind of file whose only job is to hold reference to other files and directories. So one tree starting at a slash. Every file and folder on the entire system hangs off one single root written as one forward slash, not a C colon backslash like you might know from elsewhere. One tree, one root, always. Let's walk the important branches just at a conceptual level today. We will use them for real over the coming days. So, what is slash home? It is the home of regular users, their personal files, and whenever you log in, that's where you live. Slash etc. This file holds the system configurations and all the settings. Slash etc is a directory, but as we call it as a file, so we can call it interchangeably. Slash var, data that changes and grows, logs especially. Slash temp, temporary scratch space, it can get wiped out on reboot. Slash usr, it's the most installed softwares that reside here. Slash opt, the third party applications or softwares that you install, those can live in opt. It is also called as optional software directory or file. Slash bin, the essential commands or programs or binary files that you run that reside in slash bin. In fact, several of yesterday's commands are physically live there. You don't need to memorize this list today. Just notice the tree has a structure and every branch has its purpose. It will click with the representation whenever you actually do it. So let's see what we discussed. So as we said, ls slash, this slash is called as root, ls slash home. So here is the user Abhijit and his files are present in this slash home, ls slash etc. All our configurations or whatever software we installed, network configurations, OS related configurations, all these live in slash etc. So in slash usr you have bin, games, include, lib, lib64, etc, etc. So all the softwares are present in slash usr. So slash var has all these growing files, and in that especially you will see slash var log. All the logs are present here, the system logs especially. So we might see our commands from yesterday here. If not, you can type in yourself and check for them. See, the ls command is present in slash bin. So let's go over making and looking at files. We'll learn 5 new commands today. mkdir followed by a name makes a directory. Touch followed by a name creates an empty file or just updates its timestamp if it is already existing. ls -l or ls-s l list with detail, permission, size, when it was last touched, all this information regarding the file or folder we get using ls-l. Cat followed by a file name, print the entire contents of a file to the screen. And rm, remove a file. I wanted to say this one with respect. There is no recycle bin, no undo. Later we will meet rm-r, removing a whole directory at once, treating that like a loaded tool. Always double check what you are pointing it at before you press enter. So let's perform all these commands. So using mkdir test, we created a test folder. Now let's touch test file.txt. You see, this is the file, this is the create timestamp, and these are all permissions, users, etc. that we will be learning later. We can see that the timestamp got updated here. So there was a glitch because we were checking the timestamp in that minute itself. It didn't show up, but now you can see when you do touch, the timestamp gets updated. So let me write something in that file to demonstrate regarding. So without opening that file, if you want to check the contents, we can do simply cat and the content from the file will be printed on your screen. And last thing is, so if we check, there is no test file.txt present now. And if we simply do rm test, will it work? No, it's a directory. That's the reason rm test won't work. So we have to do rm-rf test. You can see the test file is deleted. So as we already demonstrated regarding ls/home, ls/etc, and for the purpose of looking at completing all the contents from this slide, let's look at our present working directory, and you can see that we are residing inside the home at /home/abhijit. So now let's go over building our own small tree. We will again make some as a practice, we'll make a directory, and don't worry about how exactly the cd works. but it changes your directory. For now, just it just means that go into that folder. So let's run all these commands on our terminal. So what we did is we touched hello.txt and we saw that file in detail using ls-l. Now how do you write to a file? We use echo followed by the text. My bad. So what is the command structure here? We have used the command echo. We have given it the argument my first file. This is the redirection. We are going to have a full lesson on redirections, but for now remember that this inserts or overrides whatever the contents are after its whatever the things are passed as argument to it. This is the greater than sign or arrow, whatever you want to call it, but this is the redirection, and it then inserts the content into the file we just touched or created. As you can see, after doing the cat, the content that we passed it is there. Let's now practice, and here I would like you to slow down the rm command to remove it. I am creating a new file. Let's look at it and we'll do rm. So the file is removed. So before you even run rm on anything real, say this sentence out loud first. If I ran this on the wrong file right now, could I get it back? The answer is no, and that pauses your entire safety net that you have. rm is a very powerful command. So now let's have a recap. Everything is a file, one tree, one root, starting at slash. You now know what home, etc, var, temp, usr, opt, and bin are for, at least conceptually. And you made a directory, made a file inside it, wrote text into it, read it back, and deleted a file on purpose carefully. Now for the homework, build your own folder tree at least 2 levels deep, at least 3 files total, somewhere under your home folder. Be ready to ls-l through it and explain what's where. 3 questions. What character represents the root of the file system? So slash is the character that represents the root of the file system. This is the homework slide, and then let's look at the questions. Name 3 top layer directories and what they are for. So let's look at 3 top layer directories and let's understand what they are for. So slash bin is for binaries or the default commands. Boot holds your boot related information. etc holds your configuration related information. opt holds optional softwares. proc holds your process related information. var has the logs and other growing files. usr has your default softwares. So we have looked at more than 3. And what's the difference between mkdir and touch? So mkdir does create directory, and what does touch do? Touch updates the timestamp, and if a file does not exist, it creates the file. So now good. Tomorrow day 0d path, you have been typing short names like notes day 1 all day. Tomorrow you learn exactly why that works and when it doesn't.